So they get the goalie, right? 3 years, 3.8 per, which is fine compared to some of the overpayments we saw in free agency. In the end, I can stomach that contract. And a Mrazek Campbell tandem is solid. It's very solid. Yeah.
I love the Mrazek pickup, knowing you're going to be heading into a tandem, because he's just coming off a season of
He's always
real
been
contention with Reimer, with Needle, just
Nedeljkovic.
said the same.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's the biggest worry I have anytime a goaltending tandem is coming, the confidence and the chemistry of that. Jack Campbell coming off playing himself into a starting position and a really unclear season, but he showed a lot of optimism and positivity. Mazurek coming out of that situation, I'm really happy with that move for goaltending at that price. If you're going to have B-level goaltending, at least make sure you're paying a B-level salary.
Yeah. Then in other terms, apparently they still are withholding some more salary just to make sure they can try and grab a top 6 kind of versatile left wing. Is really shallow on this team. I'll be blunt. It's very shallow. And that is the position of need that they'll look at to fill out the rest of their roster. In the meantime, I guess I'll talk on some of the guys who have a chance of making the starting lineup. Michael Bunting, left winger, got a bit of skill, nothing too exciting. He could play as high as the first line now with timing gone, which seems ridiculous. David Camp, Blackhawks fans actually love this guy. He does feel, this is way overshooting what he's like, but it is like a Dano type player where you're not getting any offense from him, basically. I guess the more appropriate comparison would be Riley Nash, but this dude is a physical freak of nature. He's physical. He plays great defensive hockey. Great on faceoffs. When Taves went down last season, the Blackhawks relied on him for a ton of key faceoffs. So they finally have their center that they've been missing on the penalty kill for 5-6 years now. So that's a big pickup. I'd say either Alex Biega or Brennan Manel may get in the lineup as defensemen, just as depth there. I believe Biega's right-handed, which automatically gives him some value. But overall, I mean, not much for them to work with, but I'm a little bit disappointed in the Leafs free agency. I guess the silver lining is they don't overspend on anyone like some other teams did. I don't know what we were expecting in terms of transactions. I wish they would have got something for Hyman. I wish they would have done a little bit better on the left wing with value adds. Because, Corey Perry was out there apparently after signing with Tampa. Eric Holla was out there. Foligno was, I guess, not available, a little too expensive. Tyler Johnson was out there. Like, there were options. And it looks like they couldn't get anything special. It seems like players don't necessarily want to come to Toronto to play, which is really disappointing. So overall, not too enthused. I imagine there's still going to be some changes made. This feels like probably the last shot at a season that Dubas has. So we could see him make a ton of moves that are not my problem. It's the next guy's problem. And so a little worried about that, but this team is going to definitely look better than it is right now. And it has to, quite frankly. The only credit I'll give Dubas is he ended up proving a lot of us wrong by protecting Hall. Not because of Hall as a player. It's truly that he's a right-handed defenseman on a salary that's less than $3 million. And those didn't seem to exist at all in this free agency. Right-handed D-men, just defensemen in general, got paid. Unbelievably paid. Alex Goligoski got 1 year, $5 million. It was ridiculous. And so the fact that you have a controllable right-handed defenseman, even if he's not top tier, is super, super valuable. And so it does make sense that he made that protection.
Yeah, if everything I've been hearing him say is my neck is on the line this season, but I'm putting it out there with confidence that our boys are going to step up. We can really already fast forward to the first round of the playoffs in the year 2022 and say this is when the Leafs season or the action and or inaction is determined as a success. It's a foregone assumption that we have a roster that makes it into the playoffs comfortably, and it's just a question of how we get over that hump. The goaltending was the biggest hole, and it's not the most confident or resounding of solutions, but it's an affordable one. And in the position we're in, that's probably the best we can do. And I think ultimately I agree with the sentiment that we've put a lot of time, energy, loss into acquiring the core group of forwards that we have. And we have to give them every chance to earn their stay and prove that they can be the best lineup in the NHL. You've got to get the right group of guys around them, but not pulling the trigger prematurely on anything big. And giving these guys every chance you can is the strategy I also agree with. So big picture, I'm fine with Dubas's actions.
Yeah. It's all going to come down to the core four. That's it. Core four and goaltending, right? Everything else is going to change, but it's got to come down to them. And quite frankly, right now, I don't buy it. They're really going to have to get me back in, because now this will be the 6th season now with all of them, and we've got nothing to show for it, truly. Like, Austin Matthews won the Rocket Richard this year, and no one could care less. It's what are you going to do for me come springtime? And that's all I have left to say about the Leafs.
Yeah, that's kind of the hilarious thing. I have no expectations for the regular. I have no hopes for the regular season, but high expectations. I'm expecting a comfortable playoff finish, and I'm expecting top level production from our top guys. And by that, I mean more than a point a game from Matthews, Marner, and close to that from Nylander, Tavares. So it does feel a bit unfair to say, but I guess on the other hand, they could have a really shitty, all four of them, regular season relatively. And as long as we make the playoffs,
then we're not making the playoffs.
Most likely. But I'm saying in the hypothetical situation where they all perform below expectations and the Leafs are still in the playoffs, still the exact same situation where I don't care. Now show me what you've got. So
yeah, there's gonna be one spot, because Tampa, Boston, Florida, all making the playoffs.
Florida, maybe not that ironclad, but
I would say so. They're only going to get better after the battle scars from the Tampa series. Yeah. And then so it's Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto probably are the 3 teams fighting for that last spot in this division when it's back. And we should win that, but I am very stressed. Okay.